Om. 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 Let us pay our respects to Patanjali Maharshi. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram munina Patanjalim pranjalim anatosmi nityam harihi om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha harihi om. My humble pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you to today's session of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I am not a jnani, I am not a pandita, I am not a guru. I am just a seeker, sadhaka. I am conducting this study hour as a means for my learning. I am studying few books on Patanjali Yoga Sutra, on Vyasa Bhashya by Vyasa Bhashya, in the light of Vyasa Bhashya, commentary by Vyasa. And I am talking on that, making some notes and talking on that. If there are any mistakes, please forgive me. So, we have completed chapter 1, Samadhipada, and we have started in the new year, Happy New Year 2026. In the new year, just about, we started on chapter 2, Sadhana Pada. We have seen first sutra of Sadhana Pada, Tapaswadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. That is the sutra number 1 in chapter 2. Today we are going to look at chapter 2, sutra 2. So in the Avataranika, the connection between previous sutra and this sutra, as per Vyasa Bhashya, Sahi Kriya Yoga. That Kriya Yoga is going to help you in this following way. He is going to say that. That Kriya Yoga is going to help you in this way. Sutra number 2. Samadhi Bhavanardha Klesha Tanukaranardhascha. One more time. Samadhi Bhavanardha Klesha Tanukaranardhascha. One more time. Samadhi Bhavanardha Klesha Tanukaranardhascha. Samadhi Bhavanardha Klesha Tanukaranardhascha. Meaning, Samadhi Bhavanardha, to bring about the Samadhi, cha, and Klesha Tanukaranardha. Klesha, we have seen in chapter 1 what are the kleshas for yoga. You remember? Avidya, Raga, Dvesha. Remember that sutra? So, Asmita. So, those are the klesha. So those kleshas, tanu karanartha, making them reduce or small or sukshma, reduce the klesha, the difficulties, the obstructions like avidya, etc. So the Kriya Yoga will help the yogi to reduce the kleshas like avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, etc. and produce, help to bring about samadhi. So this is the sutra. So this is the meaning of the sutra. Let us see what is the Vyasa Bhashya. So definitely, decidedly, this is the Vyasa Bhashya. Definitely, decidedly, that Kriya Yoga, whatever has been described, what is the Kriya Yoga? Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. These three are the Kriya Yoga. That Kriya Yoga, if practiced properly, asevyamanaha, practiced properly, samadhim bhavat bhavayati, it will produce the samadhi. And kleshan, the kleshas like avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, etc. pratanu karoti, it will weaken the kleshas. It will weaken the kleshas. And those weakened kleshas are burnt by the fire of Viveka Khyati. What is Viveka Khyati? Remember in first chapter we talked about Viveka Khyati, a knowledge that says that the spirit and the matter are different. The differentiation between spirit and matter. A basic understanding has to be there. Dagda Bija Kalpan. These kleshas are like seeds, they will sprout. And those seeds are burnt in the fire of knowledge. And they have become burnt seeds. Burnt seeds cannot grow into, cannot sprout. So these kleshas are like burnt seeds in the fire of knowledge. Aprasava dharminaha, they cannot sprout. Their sprouting capability is lost. So these kleshas what are the kleshas? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, etc. These kleshas, when they are burnt in the fire of knowledge, Viveka Khyati, in the fire of Viveka Khyati, they cannot sprout anymore, and this subtle knowledge of Prakriti Purusha Viveka, the difference between spirit and matter, these burnt seeds cannot affect this knowledge anymore. It will not drag the yogi further down, and the yogi will be able to easily attain samadhi. So this is the Vyasa Bhashya. So further discussing, we will just spend some time understanding this. We say tapas, swadhyaya and Ishvara pranidhana. Tapas means austerities. Swadhyaya means self-study of scriptures, and also Atmajnana Rupa, Atma Vichara. Ishvara Pranidhana is, as we said, Sarva Karma Phalatyagaha and Sarva Karma Ishvararpadam. This is the Ishvara Pranidhana. With this, by practicing tapaha, swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana, the sadhaka, the yogi, will attain samadhi. Samadhi means a balanced intellect, a silent mind, peaceful mind that sadhaka acquires. By practicing tapaha, swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana, the 5 kleshas in the mind of the person, avidya, raga, dvesha, asmita, abhinivesha, these are the 5 kleshas. They become durbala, meaning weakened. They become weakened. How are they weakened? How can you weaken it? In the future Sutra 2.4, Vyasa Bhashya is going to say that one has to have a Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana means you get in Yama and Niyama, it is told ahimsa. So one has to understand ahimsa means non-violence. Do not hurt anyone. This is the principle. How do you acquire this principle? You have to understand its opposite, which is himsa. Himsa is violence. So you have to develop Pratipaksha Bhavana against himsa. Himsa is violence, so you have to develop anti-feeling for violence. That means you have to see what is the ill effects of violence. You have to understand clearly what happens if a person is violent. They have to see the ill effects, and knowing fully well the ill effects of violence, one will be able to easily understand and adopt non-violence. So one should have Pratipaksha Bhavana, opposing arguments or whatever it is, opposing thought patterns one has to develop for the negative thought patterns. If there is negative thoughts, negative qualities, one has to develop opposing thought patterns so that they will be free of those opposing negative qualities, free of the negative qualities, and they develop the positive qualities. So, these kleshas, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha, one has to develop pratipaksha bhavana and weaken them. And then what happens? Viveka khyati will develop. One will have a understanding of prakriti and purusha, spirit and matter. There was a Maharshi, sage called Maharshi Kanada. He was a Vaisheshika. In Vaisheshika Darshana, in Vaisheshika Sutras, it was told that the cause of avidya, the ignorance, is indriya dosha and samskara dosha. Indriya dosha. See, the indriyas are going outside and we are attracted to the outside world. And samskaras, the impressions, hidden impressions, latent impressions, and habit patterns. Similarly, one has to have a proper, righteous, dharmic conduct. One should keep good company, company of sages, sadhus. If one keeps bad company, company of people who are given to sense pleasures, then we will be strengthening the avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha. If you keep the satsanga of sadhus, your kleshas will be weakened. There is another sage called Gautama. He has written a Nyaya Sutra, Nyaya Darshana. In that, he told that if there is avidya, when a person is under the spell of avidya, ignorance, because of ignorance, there will be impurities in the person, and the person will perform actions which are good and bad, good karma and bad karma that person will do. And this good karma and bad karma leads to karma phala result, and that leads to birth, rebirth. And rebirth, this good karma and bad karma give sukha and dukkha, pleasure and pain. So this is the understanding as per Nyaya Darshana. So, what is wrong with avidya? Let avidya be there. I will live in this world. What is wrong with avidya? Ignorance. Ignorance, if a person has ignorance, all his actions will be born out of ignorance and they lead to karma and rebirth. Good karma and bad karma and rebirth. And one has to go through this cycle of pain and pleasure. And this is unending cycle. And in this unending cycle, haplessly the jiva will be rotating in the pain and pleasure circle. If that is agreeable to you, keep avidya. It is like the blind leading the blind, as told in Kathopanishad by Lord Yama to Nachiketa. Andhenaiva niyamana yadhandaha, blind leading the blind. So, tapas, swadhyaya and Ishvara pranidhana one should follow to weaken the avidya. Starting with avidya, we have to weaken. What is tapas? Austerities. You do discipline, control, austerities. We have discussed about tapas in the previous sutra, first sutra. Dharmanushtana, performing the dharmic, disciplined actions, austerities. Satya acharana, righteous conduct. Word, thought, word and deed should adhere to truth. That is satyacharana. Satya means truth, acharana means conduct. One should conduct themselves in the truth. Truth means what? In the context of yoga, one should have a clear knowledge that matter and spirit are different. Spirit should not be under the influence of the matter. Matter means prakriti. Prakriti is made up of sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. So, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas will produce various different types of behaviors and thought patterns. One should be free from that and be peaceful and in samadhi. So, satyacharana through mind. In the mind, the thoughts should be pure and righteous. The words should be pure and righteous. The actions should be pure and righteous. Dharmacharana should be there. Satyacharana should be there. And while doing it in our life, we face many challenges. We face many ups and downs. Many difficulties we face. We face sukha and dukkha, pain and pleasure. We face gain and loss. We face praise and insults. In all these opposites, dvandvas, one should maintain an equanimity. One should never leave dharmacharana and satyacharana. Just because there are difficulties in life, you should not say that what is the benefit of following the satyacharana when I am facing these difficulties. There are many people in the world who are following adharmacharana, asatyacharana, meaning there are people who are following wrong means, wrong ways, and they're all prospering. So why don't I also follow the wrong ways? One should not fall into this trap. No matter how many difficulties we face, we have to stick to dharma. We have to stick to satya. Remember Sri Rama from Ramayana. No matter how many difficulties he encountered in his life, he stood for dharma. Similarly, you remember Satya Harishchandra. No matter how many difficulties he faced, he stood by truth. He stood by his word. Similarly, remember Yudhishthira from Mahabharata. Dharmaraya. He followed dharma. No matter how many difficulties he faced. That's why we remember them. They are our ideals. So, by tapasya, meaning following austerities, one will weaken the kleshas. In Sutra number 1, Maharshi Vyasa Bhashya, has given a definition of Swadhyaya. What did he say? Chanting of pranava. Chanting of mantras like pranava. See, pranava, omkara japa, pranava japa, directly connects you to divine. You will understand this only if you do omkara japa. It is not by explaining it, one cannot experience it. You actually have to sit, relax, close your eyes and chant omkara. Om. See, mind becomes single point, one point, silent, peaceful. Please practice omkara japa. It is not how many times you do japa. Do it slowly, properly, relaxed manner, and get connected with the divine silence. So, omkara japa is told, pranava japa is told. Similarly, it is told study of scriptures, moksha shastra adhyayana, like Veda adhyayana, studying Vedas, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita. Please remember, Bhagavad Gita alone is sufficient if you understand and practice it properly. That is the gist of all Vedic Shastra. Of course, if you have time, interest, learn Vedic chanting and Vedanta, Upanishads. But if you do not have time, you are busy with your life, at least study Bhagavad Gita. It is for everyone. Please remember to study Bhagavad Gita. By studying it, these moksha shastras, one will have a clear knowledge about Jiva, Ishvara and Jagat. The individual, the cosmic and the world. The individual soul, the supreme soul and the world of matter. One will have a clear understanding about this by studying these moksha shastras. With that understanding, these kleshas will become reduced, weakened. So we have seen tapas, we have seen swadhyaya. Now we'll see Ishvara Pranidhana, how it will help. So in Sutra number 1, Vyasa Bhashya says, whatever you do, whatever action you do, that phala and that action you do arpana to Ishvara. What is arpana to Ishvara? Also we discussed. The actions that we do should benefit all. There should be selfless, unselfish actions. What actions we do for me and myself are selfish actions. They are called karma. When I do actions for the welfare of others, it is not called karma. It is called nishkama karma. Selfless action. Action without desire. Nishkama karma weakens the avidya. This selfless, desireless action for the welfare of all, like for Loka Kalyana, for the welfare of all, as examples are King Janaka, Emperor Janaka, etc. This will reduce, weaken the avidya. And the kleshas like avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, they become burnt seeds. They are burnt by these practices. They become burnt seeds and they cannot sprout. And the sadhaka will have viveka khyati. So this is the discussion about Sutra 2, chapter 2 of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Chapter 2 is called Sadhana Pada. In that Sadhana Pada, we have seen two sutras so far. So we have to remember Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. With that, we conclude today's session. Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Thank you very much. See you next time.